Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Cilinix Crypto. Hope you're all doing great, and welcome to this new daily morning update on XRP. We're going to do a full update on XRP today. We have the US government reopening a vote, of course, which is also relevant for XRP. So we'll talk a little bit about what to expect from that. It seems very likely when we're talking about the probabilities that the US government is reopening. But there's still quite a lot of uncertainty regarding XRP ETFs. And I know that there was a little bit more certainty regarding the cilinixfxcapital spot XRP or XRP spot ETF. But that is ultimately not the ETF I care about. Okay, it's the other ETFs that I care a little bit more about, and that it still seems a little bit hard to say when it's happening. I'm getting mixed data at least on that, so I'll still keep you updated on that, of course. It could be this week. A lot of people are saying this week, so that's amazing, but. Look, I have my ideas, but because it's still a little bit uncertain, I also don't want to scream that we're going to get them this week or that we're going to get them tomorrow, etc. So I'll keep you updated on that. But ultimately, I think the timing also doesn't matter that much for the short-term price action we can expect. Okay, so XRP, we pushed down a little bit lower yesterday, a little bit lower than what I would have expected. I mean, ultimately, it was quite likely, and I've also told you in my last videos that we would pull back from that value area high right here. But then the key level I was looking at was the level around 2.41, right? 2.41, in my opinion, is the key level for XRP. It's by far the level I've named most for XRP in the last year because it has been really very relevant for a long time. And then this time around, we also had the 4-hour trend just below that at 2.39, and we had the 30-day rolling VWAP. So what I said yesterday is, okay, I think we're going to pull back into that. That happened. But then from there, we'll be able to find support and rally up higher. And that is a little bit complicated right now because we have actually dropped down below that. You can see that XRP pushed down below 2.41 and that it found support at the 0.618 FIB. But that it's now still trading below 2.41, 2.42. It's an area, right? So I mean, even though we're trading above 2.41 right now, which is above the critical level we've been talking about, we need to get a little bit of a wider margin with the break than this. So that's why I have to be a little bit double on XRP, because ultimately I am bullish on the XRP ETFs, and I've spoken about that very often. I also posted about that on X. If you want to check that out, but there's a plethora, or there's multiple reasons why I think the XRP ETF can actually do well compared to some others. I'm not going to look it up; it takes too long. But there's a couple of reasons, so I'm bullish on that. I'm bullish on Bitcoin. Yesterday I said, okay, I think we're going to swipe those lows. That's what we did. The move we've had so far today has been pretty good, and obviously XRP is still very correlated to Bitcoin as well. It's a little bit less, which could be a good thing. But that's still positive news for XRP as well. But then on the other side, against those positives, right, against the positives of the XRP ETF and Bitcoin's recent price action, you have the price action for XRP. And the price action for XRP, even though I think we have a good chance to reclaim 2.41, this is, by the way, a trade setup I took, so I'm currently in a position on XRP. But the reactions we had to several levels where I thought, okay, if XRP would be really strong technically, we would get a strong reaction there. We did not get a strong reaction there, right? So no reaction at the single print at 2.43. And then ultimately we were able to hold this level right here at 2.37. I'd say this is relatively weak. We are forming some bullish divergences right here. This is a pretty clean one, so that is interesting to see. And we're also gaining some new volume in the price right here. So ultimately, I have to say, when we're summing all of that up, I would be careful with XRP short term, because technically we have not been able to reclaim 2.41 and 2.42, and I do still stand by the fact that that is a very relevant level. But given the fundamentals in the crypto markets, given the fundamentals in the financial markets, I do think it is most likely we'll be able to reclaim that level and rally up to the value area high right here at 2.55. And then the 2.55, we'll see again. We could easily blow through that as well if we do have momentum, but there is no momentum right now, right? So I'm not going to tell you anything that can happen with something that is not here presently. And I also see no indication of that happening very, very soon. So those are my thoughts. I think that's what you need to know. Thank you for watching, everybody. Take care and bye.